Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for anyone who joins us tonight. We find ourselves again another race week of currently find ourselves in season 6, race 9, round Bahrain. Looking at the attendance this week, not the greatest from the boys, a couple of late checkouts, but still some very promising names remain in this 12 car lineup. A lot of the cars are coming through to set the times. We've got Ben coming round now. Ben, who is notoriously fast around Bahrain. Some would say it's his home circuit. Ben looking a little bit off the pace, so almost a second behind that of Boo. We've got Ant and Morph taking provisional podium places at the moment. Thompson is in the pits. So is Shake. He's in the pits in the Haas, and I think this is Jay coming to set his first lap. 1:29.6 from Jay. Just 0.02 of a second faster than the Alfa Romeo. Ben, previous enemies from another division. Expect them to be battling it out round this somewhat dusk-like weather around Bahrain we have this evening. Don't expect any rain. Most likely expect a thunderstorm. We've got an Alfa Romeo on the straight. It's Badgeman letting the cars behind through. Tree now setting his first time. The latest driver to join the grid. It's the 1:29. The Mutts Nuts still with provisional last. Shake and Thompson also have already done a lap at least and had to go put some fresh tyres on now. So just 12 minutes of the qualifying session remaining. So after last week, I believe, I'm not too sure who was actually the winner of last week. There was another poor attendance last week. But for those watching, obviously, with the standings, it's quite close at the top. Yuri taking the championship lead at the moment, obviously with Alfa Romeo topping the constructors as well. So Ben, yet again, with it being his home track, will look to make some big moves for points here. Obviously, with only being 10 drivers, I'm sure the strategy for both Alphas will be just to get some points, extend that championship lead over their rivals Mercedes. It is at the moment with Bennett and Boo. Bennett not racing this evening. Boo is the downer man, a chance to extend the gap. Say Yuri leading the championship. Kevin is second, a good 15 points behind Yuri, so Yuri with another chance to extend that even further. Obviously James is then following in third, the only person who's actually racing behind him. He's got 6 points behind Kevin, so it's 21 points behind for James. It is still possible for James to take the championship lead this evening, but that would require Yuri to not finish and Jay to take the crown this evening. Just as we were watching Thompson there crossing the line to start his first time lap with some traffic ahead of him. Badgeman set his first time lap with a 1:31.54. Thompson now coming up to the first DRS activation of the lap. And I believe it's a Red Bull there of Morph. I'm not too sure if that is impeded him. However, they are in the fight together, so there should have been some communication between the lads. Being able to get out of that. Thompson coming into what is now possibly one of the most difficult corners, I feel, in the calendar. If you dip too much of a tyre in either one of the curves, you tend to lose it. And Boo is just slowing down, letting the cars behind through, I believe. Nothing to see there. And that is the span, I believe, on the exit of turn 1, attempting the start of a lap, not what he'd have wanted. Back on board with Thompson now. Around that last corner, just does enough not to kiss the curb, foot down, DRS automatically on. It's a purple sector 3 for Thompson, and it's a P2, just 2/10 slower than the Mercedes ahead. Bumps Yuri down into P3. Yuri obviously jumping up there, extending, looking to extend his lead on the driver this evening, also looking to get a tow from the car behind. And in shake, passing each other teammates as it stands, and doing very well not to lose the back end around there, and just doesn't want, yeah, holds the line nicely there. This is always a difficult corner in and clip the apex just enough to carry that speed through. Morph now riding on board with the Red Bull. Still about a second and a half between the front runner. Jamal obviously pipping P1 as well. That's by a good 3/10. Boo, I'm not sure. And speaking of Boo, the taxman has caught up with him there, sent him into a spin. We'll get on with that, probably looking at turning the ERS off, sorry, and going again next lap. Or maybe just pitting. Still 7.5 minutes left. Shake, the only one to not set a lap. Unfortunately, in this league, no matter if you are a shake, but you certainly can't buy a win. It's extremely competitive in this league, as the times show. Alpha, there's a badge man, it's a tree, sorry, maybe losing it on the first corner. And he's out that way, so it doesn't matter too much. More sets his lap, 1:29.3. Only good enough for 6th place. Jay almost lacking a little bit there with Ben. Ben, speaking of the devil, is coming out. Just wondering if drivers are looking at getting maybe an out lap, a fast lap and an in lap. In an attempt to maybe get one last squeeze, one last bite at the cookie to take that provisional pole. Thompson's in the pits, coming out now as well. Strong supporter of Sunderland. Sorry, played for Sunderland. So Yuri's still quite happy with that P4. Plenty of points for Alpha. Ben as well. Still in the points. He's actually on a lap and he's on a push lap, but so is more too sure. He's going very half. He's going very kind of half throttle around there. I don't know if that was intentional or if he just attempting now doing a push lap. I'm not too sure. ERS doesn't look like it's activated at the moment. It's not coming down. He's going straight into the pits. More, and now round the corner, taps everyone just there. Oh, and catches a little wiggle, and that's invalidated. Invalidated for the United fan. Have to chuck that back in the pits, and another set of softs will be taken off his race allocation. Not what he'll have wanted. Shake now. Complete his first out lap. And start a timed lap for the first time. Thompson at 1:28.993. I think I'm not sure if that was. No, it was. It's actually now he's setting the lap. Boo. Wiggling. Tree. Spinning. The two almost coming upon each other right now. rescues. They're putting, oh, and Boo's almost spun it there just very well. I think it's an intentional one to keep as much heat as possible in those tyres that he can. That is the gap as it stands between first and 11th as it's starting to shake. Obviously the one who hasn't set a time. It's a lovely line through there. And actually purple sector 2 is just going to be an absolute storm of lap by shake, taking the grid by storm. Around the last corner nicely, very well not to invalidate on the exit. So all of his deploys used. DRS on, it's a 129.6. It's only good enough for 7th. I think it was one of those purple glitches to get him into P10. Jamal still with a 3/10 lead. Mutz now coming round to start his first time lap. Jay obviously as well on the out lap as well. Obviously a lot of drivers chucking themselves out of the grid. At the moment, Boo as well probably going at a time. Slowing down in sector 3 now for Boo. Side to side, trying to use as much time as possible, allow the drivers ahead to set as much grip on the track. But the McLaren of Jay is going to be coming up on him now anytime. Boo will be going with the foot down now. As you can see, the Red Bull, Haas, Ferrari all coming out the pits. This could severely hinder Boo's lap. I think he's going to get out in front of the Ferrari, but he's got the Haas, I believe, of Ant, yeah, and Morph ahead of him. What's it going to be? And they're both seeing him miles off. That is lovely to see. No hindrance for Boo there. Mutz Nuts now setting his last time of this evening, I believe. And it's a 129.7, 1 tenth faster than his previous. It's good enough for P10. Got the Alpha coming round now of Badman. He's about 3/4 of a second faster. This could be a midfield place from Badge. It's just a little bit of a scraggly exit there. And it's a 7th. It is midfield. We've got a comment from Bennett cheering his teammate Boo on this evening. Thanks for joining, Bennett. The next round will be Jay in the McLaren. P9 and 11 for the pairing. Not what they were wanted, but here comes Jay. Does well enough not to dip any tyres. Porpoising up the flat straight. P6 for Jay. A 10th behind Ant. Ant's got an invalidation, so I believe he's chasing to go up the grid. He's also using the DRS of Morph, the slipstream. It's going to be interesting between the two. Hopefully they don't end up impeding each other. Mutz now around. Shake is being confirmed P9. The Mutz hasn't gone faster. P11 for him. Tree jumps to P9, which actually finalises the Mutz in P12. Boo's actually gone into the pits. I don't believe there's going to be any improvement from the McLaren. Currently sitting at the front of the grid. It's going to be now Jamal, I believe, is going to be coming through. He's 0.05 of a second faster. It's not going to be much of an improvement, but he's already got that 3/10 lead, so he's just extending it ever more. And he's into the pits, Jamal. Happy to come into the pits, so it's going to be Badge who's going to come round, is it? It's 15 seconds slower. Badgeman isn't setting another time. We'll go across the line though, sorry. So it's Jay. 2 seconds. It's going to be Thompson, sorry. Ant's gone very wide there, we caught that. Thompson round that last corner. Is it going to be any improvement? Up the pit straight and across the line. It's going to be a 1:28.5. Boo drops down to P3. Second row for Boo. Ant's going to come into the pits. It's now going to be Yuri. Yuri now takes P3 over Boo. Boo dropped down 2 places and then Ben finalises as well. It's going to be a great team effort there from Alpha, pulling each other down that DRS straight. What a qualifying session, and Morph has just spun, I don't think he was on a push lap as it was. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for the qualifying session before our feature race this evening in Bahrain. We have Jamal with a 1:28.477. We've then got obviously Thompson in P2 with a 1:28.5, and then what a show it was from Yuri in P3 and his teammate Ben down in P5. Boo obviously dropping 2 places in those final laps. We'll be hoping he could have improved maybe rather than gone into the pits. Drops himself from the front row to the second in the blink of an eye. So there it is, Ben in P5, and we have Ant in the Haas with a relatively strong time in P6. Obviously Jay, his rival in Red Arrows, in P7 right behind him. Very close timing. And that is advanced very, very quickly. And not even giving me a chance to read out the rest of the positions. But as I say, ladies and gentlemen, you managed to see the grid there. Lots of fast drivers, despite there being only 12 of them this evening. We will see the first corner tends to be a metaphorical shit show, maybe with a little bit less egos and drivers on the grid. There's going to be less accidents, maybe 12 drivers finishing the race this evening. That's all we can hope for. Just allowing the drivers to change minute details, tyre pressures, maybe changing one of the wings, who knows. Could it be a wet race? We obviously can't see the weather. Might be a little bit of rain this evening. We'll have to see. But it's going to be very close between the Alfa Romeos. They might have to run separate strategies. It's no good them both coming in the pits behind one another, holding one another up. Obviously Yuri leading the Drivers' Championship, so he might have the metaphorical team orders this evening and have that between Ben. Starting any moment now, as we will ride on board with Jamal getting his way there to tyre strategy, ladies and gentlemen. As you all saw, anybody on the soft tyres, which is only Morph, the only one going massively aggressive, he'll be one to look out for in turn 1. Good one to ride on board with, possibly. It's a shame we don't have 2 commentators this evening. I'll do my best to catch all the action as best as possible. The rest of the grid up and down, either all the hard or the medium compound. But Thompson, a string of DNFs in other leagues, been very unfortunate of late. Is it going to be a bit of William Wallace this evening for the Scot? A bit of freedom for the Ferrari driver. We will have to wait and see. Only one of them on the grid as well. Mark not able to make it this evening. A former D2 driver, recently promoted into the upper branches of Indigo. Unable to make it alongside 8 or 7 other drivers with himself. So we get away at any moment now, allowing the rest of the practice to come up. That last long straight, mainly one of the main overtaking points around this desert track in Bahrain. See the named drivers shaking the nuts. And then all on the mediums, everybody else is on the hard, so don't really expect any massive changes up the front, bar some bad starts from drivers, but I think Morph's going to have to be one to watch out for, the only one going on the superior tyre compound, and there it is. Expect Morph around 8 to 9, and the mediums 13, as we are almost away. And they're off, and it appears that for some reason Jay's got much better traction. Ben's got a really bad start, but there is Morph down the inside of Jay and Ben. Morph upside the inside of Boo. All up to P. There's some collisions. Sorry for the cameras. Oh, and Morph's hit Jamal. Morph's hit Jamal, and that's allowed Boo and Jay up into P3 and P4. But Morph now looking down the inside of Boo on the superior tyre. Has he got damage though? We don't know, but he has got that position from the Mercedes driver. So it might be a bit of an incident, but Jamal from the start dropping all the way down from P1. Thompson now leads us away, and Morph's got such a better exit on Jay. Morph going down the outside of the McLaren, and what a move it is, but Jay's fighting down the inside. He's going to keep fighting all the way, and I think he has to succumb. The fight, not enough traction up there. The tyre compound just proving too superior. Now Morph chasing after Yuri in the Alfa Romeo, who's less time behind Thompson than you'd like to think, but aren't making moves on Boo as well. Yet again, Boo dropping back on those hards. Will be trying to get as much heat into them as physically possible. There's the cyan helmet of the Haas driver, followed closely by his teammate. No one looking to make a move down the straight. Boo is gaining on Jay, but then he's got the closing party of Ant, Shake and Boo, behind Jay. And it's relatively clean through turn 1, lap 2 here in Indigo Racing, and Yuri is sniffing the rear wing of that Ferrari, and bar Ben losing a couple of places, this is a perfect start. Second ahead of the car behind, but more closing down, which will bring that DRS train into effect. And looking to make a move down that very tight corner. Oh, there's a little bit of contact between the two teammates, Shake and Ann. It doesn't appear to have spun out there. It's a horrible corner. If you do tend to tap the car ahead, it does send him into an awful spin, so Ann very well to control that. There it is again. Expect more 7 or 8. Ann and the rest around lap 12 to 16. And we've got yellow flags, and it's Badgeman. Oh, and Jamal doing wonderfully just to dodge the Alfa Romeo there. And here is the other one right behind the McLaren. Don't think there's going to be any moves made. Thompson's hitting the fastest lap, but then followed by Morph on those furiously hot softs. A 1:33.3. DRS is enabled, so Morph will have it up this back straight. And Ben's made a move on Shake, but Shake's actually managed to regain the position. I say that Hard's just not coming into their own yet, but there is the DRS from Ben. Pulls out, looking to slot one up the inside. Is Shake going to give him the rule? Ben's had a little bit of a spin. Just a little tail wobbler there, but he keeps the position, he keeps the pressure on the Haas. That's allowing Ant to apply himself more on the offense now of the Mercedes, not having his teammate tapping him from the rear. And here we have it, another dose of DRS. Ben's looking to make a move down Shake, and I think he's done it. Not sure if there was a little bit of a wobble from Shake there, because he's dropped back considerably after that move from Ben. The Mutt's right behind him. Ben now in the clear to chase down Ant. And what can the Haas driver do up this long straight? Couple more laps and those hards are really going to start coming into play. Ant and Tree, the only two drivers not to change any positions. And here they all go on Jay. Jay's the only one who doesn't have any form of DRS. Still, we've got Thompson, and Thompson's round. Thompson is round on the exit of turn 2 and 3. Back on track, and he takes the inside line. Is Jamal going to get him? That means we had P1 and P2 spin from P1. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That has propelled Yuri up into P1. He's going to take an even more commanding lead of Division 1. And here we have Boo looking at definitely making a move. Oh, and he's gone wide, which has invited the Haas round, but he shuts the door on that, which allows Jay to get a little bit of breathing room. Boo using the combination to get close, but we've got more attacking Yuri now on those soft tyres. We'll only have maybe a couple of laps more used, lap 7 maybe, and there it is. A little wobble off track. Allows Yuri to gain that half a second breather that he needs, as DRS now will be the one that'll have to pull him back in. Not too sure there'll be any moves made down into turn 1 from Moore. But relatively close. But Ant's actually even closer to Boo than what I thought. Ant maybe fainting to go down the inside. He's definitely too far back to make a move there. And the Mutts and Shake are going side by side, and the Mutts almost made that move stick, but Shake fought back wonderfully to defend. And coming up the straight, the side by side, but the Mutts Nuts has DRS, is going to make it stick, and there's a little bit of contact from the house. Not damage worthy. And then the battle goes on. Tree coming onto the back of them. Going around the corner. Oh, and the Mutts again, so close to getting really tapped from behind. And here it is up this straight now. And we've got Jamal and Thompson switching positions in sector 2. Sorry, Tree spinning. Tree was the one that spun. Thompson and Jamal were just moving up. Oh, and Shake going off track a little bit, and maybe a little bit of a warning. As the previous, or one of the previous race leaders behind him, and Boo spun there on the exit. The second to last corner is going to have to wait until cars come on track, unless he can spin it round just like that. But he's found himself in P11 out of the points. Bennett will not be happy if you're still watching this. But here is Ben, another one of the Alphas looking to force his way, earning even more points. And Morph just not managing to make use of those soft tyres as much as we would have liked, for as long as he would have liked. Is Ant going to look at making a move on Jay? Oh, he was approaching that corner a lot faster than Jay. Maybe a bit of bad blood between the two. Jamal and Thompson, and Thompson spun. I think that's on the exit of turn 4 after the second DRS zone. Is Jay just really desperately needing to clasp onto that DRS with Morph? I think it may be too late for Ant. I don't think he needs to make the move here. No, it forced it into a horrible line and gets it through on the exit, but Jay's going to come around and fight him. Please do not touch him, ladies and gentlemen. Jay's on the curve, and like I said, he'd have to take that very cautiously. He comes back on track. Ben, side to side with Ben. Great awareness there from the boys, but Jay's looking at squeezing up the outside of Ben. And Jay's just not made the move, but he's got the DRS. Ben will have it on that, flying up the pit straight, but I think Jay's just got more speed. Look at that. Move done on Ben. Ant's now free to fight for second, but Yuri and Morph are going at each other on turn 1 and 2. The DRS is now in Morph's hands. This must be P1 overtaking now in turn 3 to 4, sorry. And there it is, Morph taking the lead. But Yuri's not going to let it go without a fight, we know that. Those softs will be dropping off any moment now. Yuri knows that. Thompson into the pits. Yellow flags in sector 2, and it's a Haas and shakes off. Shake is off in that extremely tight section, just in the middle of sector 2, I believe. But this is where it's going to be interesting to see if Morph can drop Yuri. That's what he really needs to do. He needs to get a wiggle on. But then again, there I was saying that the strategy for the Red Bull driver was to pit. Boo now right behind Shake. In the Haas will be looking at making a move on the corner that he span on last lap. Shake's left lots of room up the inside there, goes extremely wide. It's going to invite Boo to make a move down this straight, but does he hold on? He is. He's very smart from the tax-free man. Holds off and gains the DRS, so Shake can't fight back. And here he goes. Mercedes up the inside, nice and easy. Done before the corner, plenty of time. And the front 2 have now become a front 4. That little wiggle from Ben, just dropping back from Jay now without the DRS. The front 4 expected to shoot off, unless Ben can close in on them somehow. It's a lovely 4-way battle for P1, 8 laps in, round Bahrain, and very close to the back of Yuri. So you expect the likes of Ant to be pitting within the next kind of 4 or 5 laps. Or maybe trying a medium soft. I'm sure Morph will be the first one to reveal his hand. Being one of the early runners, having to pit with that softer compound. Morph goes for defensive line. There's no need. Yuri isn't close enough nor interested. They're overtaking him there. This is where he'll want the move done. And Morph's into the pits there, which is going to bring Yuri back into P1, but only for maybe a couple of seconds, as Ant's got the outside line, the better compound, and now leads the race in Bahrain. Yellow flags in sector 2, that is Thompson round again. And Badgeman is round as well. That means Morph is going to be in a provisional last place. Badgeman round again. And Shake making a move on Boo with the help of that DRS. Boo maybe making a move a corner or two early. And the Mutts. Jamal has clambered his way back up the grid after that early shunt from Morph. Finding himself back in P5 in a respectable points place. Badgeman into the pits. Be a tyre change 2 hot tyres onto the mediums, looking to go 20 laps on the mediums and hopefully looking to keep out of Ant's grasp. Coming up that pit straight now. Still having Yuri behind him. Just closing that gap. Jamal ahead. Charging through the grid with the fastest lap. Ant's mediums aren't quite Ronseal and not doing what they said on the tin. I don't think they're quite providing him with the grip that he is requiring at this stage in the race. All 3 drivers behind him on the hard compounds now. Shake and Boo going at it. And Boo's got that place. Great battle for P8. And Ben closing up to the back of Jay. What's his exit like compared to the McLarens? Very similar. I don't think there's going to be any moves up this straight from any of them. Oh, Ben is so close. You almost smell the exhaustion. Oh, and Ben catches a wonderful slide. And yet again, it's not the first time we've seen Ben do that, catch a slide and still maintain in a very attacking position, less than 4 tenths behind the McLaren. Still in that DRS zone. Thompson back on the track. They're hoping for a safety car, but still the shorts. DRS wide open for Ben. ERS is completely spent. Jay on 24%. Yuri on 8 and Anne in the lead with 6% ERS. But the Mutt is in P7 now, obviously just dropping down the grid due to the pit. I believe he might come out just in front of Morph, depending where the exit. I think Morph will get this done. Out comes the McLaren. It's actually going to be very close between the two. Morph's going to have the superior grip. How is the Mutt? He's going to force him very wide there. But the move's got to be done up here with the DRS. How is the Mutt going to defend? I think he's just going to sail down the outside line. And there is the move. The Mutt succumbs to that pressure very easily. Thompson is round again. Just out of the points in P11. And Ben, look at how close he is now behind that McLaren. Some moves will have to be thrown. Boo, cheating, non-tax paying. Islander, 3-second penalty for him. Given how this race has gone so far, that might push him back a couple of places. Morph does exactly the same. Follows suit. Must be Welsh like a sheep. Ben still piling the pressure on. Yuri still piling the pressure on Ant. Just very curious to how Ant is defending this. Morph, the only one who has actually stopped yet. Morph going from soft to hard. And that's Thompson round. Just going off track. I think Thompson is expected to leave the race quite possibly. Oh, and Jay and Ben are going wheel to wheel. Ben again controlling that slide. Oh, and Ben's it, Jay! There's contact, but they're still racing. I don't know if that was a little bit of a connection or if there was contact. But something happened, and it's now a Haas from the two Alfa Romeos. And identical strategies, both on the hard tyres. Is Ben going to have that DRS? He isn't. And pits a lap before the expected pit window, and Jay takes that position back from Ben. It says thank you very much. But here is the question: can Ben get a better exit? Not close enough to make a move. And Ant and Shake both in the pits. The Haas garage team very busy in the last minute. Jamal continuing his surge up the pack in P4. Chasing that tail, foxtail of the Leicester fan Ben. Just closing in, we'll have DRS on the Alfa Romeo, intended to push on to the front three. But Yuri now allowed to extend that lead. And is almost dropping the McLaren. They'll be looking to use the DRS to bridge that gap. Yellow flags at R. Thompson letting drivers through. And Jay is within DRS range, but not for the pit straight. But we'll have it up this short second, maybe about half the length of the pit straight. Around the left-hander wonderfully does it. Full traction aiding fully. And we've got Thompson just letting cars through again. Thompson, yeah, retired in the pits. Only one driver will remain without points this evening. Now trying ever so hard to bridge that gap in the Williams. I have a try and stop as well. Oh mate, it's probably good as myself. Stick outside, fine. And the Mutts, a 3-second penalty there, 3 drivers now. Trying to break the rules. Jamal's now bridged that gap. He's within the second. And I'll be looking to hunt down and retake his P1. Trees in the page, trees in the page, trees in the pit. Pages come from trees, so and monkeys swing in trees, so his name makes sense. Anyway, yeah, he's still in that P1 after and fitted onto the hards. P6 now for the Haas driver and is in that P1 place as it stands. All the drivers ahead. So very, very close if the front runners do decide to pit now. And I'll be looking to squeeze that gap down. Keep an eye on that, how far he is. It's maybe about a 20-second pit stop in Bahrain. We've got yellow flag in sector 3 and it's Boo, and Ant needs to watch out as Boo might come onto track. He's spun it round. Very perilous corner. Yuri in the pits now. It's going to be very interesting. In the pit, I think Ant will get that. And there he is. Yuri coming out. He is quite far, so it is going to be close. And there we see Yuri and back into provisional P1. About a 21-second pit stop here. Yuri will be on those mediums though. Hunting down Ant. Jamal, Ben, Jay, the only drivers still to pit. Are we going to see the front 2 or 3 pit now? Jay going very wide there. Ben on the accelerator nice and early. Drivers looking very cautious round. What we saw was Boo's last spin. And Ben is going to pit. He's looking at that, thinking he might. Ben and Yuri now will both have pitted. That's the Alfa Romeo's done and dusted. I don't think Ben's going to come out. I think he will lose and drop back between the pair. Ant's got it done before he's even out of the pit. And his teammate passes him also. Have to work that a little bit harder. Close that gap. Jamal in P2 now, but yeah, again, he is one of the ones who hasn't stopped yet. I was going to say he's got the fastest lap, but Tree goes fastest there, the 1:31.9. Yeah, almost half a second faster than. Sorry, half a second faster than the previous lap of Jamal. Jamal and Jay having their own little two-way battle now for P1 in a world of their own. But anytime they're going to pit, I reckon it's going to chuck them behind both Alfa Romeos. It could be seeing a Haas and Alfa lockout. Jay is in, followed by Jamal. Yellow flags, is that badge man? It is. So here comes Ant. And we'll overtake Jay. There he goes. Yuri's got him. Ben will also come out just between them. They're going to split the pair, so Ben's going to be putting immediate pressure. Ben makes a move up the inside then outside of Jamal, and Ben squeezes himself past the Williams. Is on to the back of the McLaren with his DRS. Great move from Ben, trying to clamber his way back for a podium place. Just look at the speed and the tenacity that this Alfa Romeo driver is driving. Look at the exit that he's got through there. Driving side by side with the McLaren, and he almost pushes them, but I think Jay's almost been pushed off, which is going to bring Jamal into him as well. I'm not too sure if there was a little bit of bad blood between the two there. Now 10 laps remain. Ben into P3 now. His teammate Yuri into P2. We said this before the race, that the Alphas will have had some form of strategy, one pitting straight after the other, consecutive laps, not allowing themselves to be double stacked. And they currently find themselves in P2 and 3, leading the Constructors' Championship. And here comes Yuri up the inside of Ant with the better tyre. Ant brakes later, but is it too late? Possibly Yuri backs out a little bit. He wants the better exit through here and will take what will surely be an overtake. Ant remaining defensive down the outside. Trying to fight back later on the brakes, but can't. Attempts to cut back. But those medium tyres are just too good. The reason Ant started on them is now benefiting all drivers around him. Ben looking to close a 2-second gap now and be looking to get a Alfa Romeo 1-2. Huge points. Now Ben just needs to keep it in a straight line with less than 10 laps to go. Looking down the rear of the grid, join these for a while. We've got Tree on Shake. Another Alpha and Haas, just an Alpha Tauri this time rather than a Romeo. And Tree's looking down the inside of Shake. I believe that sounded like a lockup. Something I've not seen since the days of Gap. R.I.P. Josh. Shake there, extending that gap between him and Tree a little bit. Tree catches a very well caught slide there. Bear with me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the action, we have Ant still tagging along the back of Alfa Romeo, looking to regain his P1. Does have all the offensive tools available to him. DRS, ERS, Shake. Not going to be able to pay that speeding fine off. And Jamal making a move on Ben around the outside. Ben's not going to give it up so easy though, but I think Jamal is actually going to make the move stick. Ben's fighting it on the curbs. It comes out on top, but he's going to have the Williams going down the outside as well. Oh, and Jay hits Jamal twice, double taps him, Zombieland style, and doesn't even give him the position back. I wonder if the McLaren's got any wing damage there. Jamal making a wondrous charge back up the grid to retake what he was hoping his P1. Now back down to P5. Ben will be glad of that. Jamal now taking J. Not sure, it would have been the DRS maybe that helped Jamal there. And shaking Tree, touching wheels. Yeah, Tree making the move on that corner with the DRS. Must have been during that corner, a little bit of contact possibly. Three quarters gone. Tree spinning the second to last corner, allowing Boo and Shake. Oh, and Boo's broken very late and somehow managed to get the move on Shake done nicely, but Boo will have crapped himself there. Car going into the pits, that's Tree. Is it going to be a wing? It is a wing. No front wing there. Soft tyres. And I'm struggling to see. Oh, there's Wheeler. Wheeler, AlphaTauri of Badgeman. Tree still eligible to take that fastest lap. Jay still less than a second behind the Williams. Looking to make more of a politically acceptable and correct overtake. Has the DRS to enable him to pull that Williams. And just still somewhat hoping that Yuri's gonna make a mistake. Oh, we've got Jamal. Jamal's round. I'm not too sure what's gone on there. He's dropping down the grid. Here comes Badgeman to unlap himself. But it's brought Jay now up into P4. Morph into P5. Lord, the grid is spaced out now. Just thankfully this battle for P1 is still going on. A wonderful strategy from the Alfa Romeo pair. Jay, be happy with his race. Gained a few places on his qualifying position. 3 places. Oh, boo, making a move on Jamal. Up into P6 for Mercedes. A little bit better there for you, Bennett. But and the driver who has gained the most positions this evening and is still chasing the tail of Yuri all the way to the end. Best bet would be to save the ERS up. Oh, we've got Shake and the Mutts making moves on each other. I think that's Page round. Or is it Badgeman? Badgeman letting the car behind through. The Mutts and Shake going side by side. Oh, and there's contact between the Mutts and Shake. Wiggles from the pair. No one leaving room. I'm still just sitting behind that Alfa Romeo, not really changing the delta or the time separation. Oh, and the Mutts tap Shake. That DRS is gonna thrust him up into P7. But the issue is now, if Shake can hang on to the back of him, he's gonna have that DRS up the straight and then literally one corner afterwards as well, setting up that overtake just for another DRS zone to appear 3 or 4 corners later. Reed actually managed to overtake Jamal, and Jamal now holding onto that last points position. And drop down now 2 tenths. Those mediums still going strong for Yuri. a lot better. There's more rubber on the track. Let's see what Ant can do to catch up to the back of the Alfa Romeo. I think that's working now. 3 laps remaining. And still tagging onto the back. Yuri, oh, and he goes very deep there. Gonna lose 2 or 3 tenths. Loses the exit speed. Been clambering for time. These last 6 or 7 laps, and now looks like that little wiggle and misjudgment might cost him. Oh yes, I'm going to get that out of there. Can I have a knife as well, please? Can I have a knife, please? Thought you just use your head. Bombs don't have one. Yeah, the flags on. That's a Alfa, and there is a McLaren. Oh, it's the Mutts. Okay. The Mutts is off. Alright. This one. Maybe from the ones off. I don't know. No, I think this is going to be our rounding off of the grid this evening. Is it still live? Yeah. Yeah, still live, just checking. Yuri leads the pack. A strong qualifying performance from the Alfa Romeo. And as well, 4 places and a P2. Mutz is the only one who's gained more. I think 2 of those might have been the DNFs. Still P7 points. But Ant still half a second now. 2 laps remaining. Yuri just remaining ever so consistent, but now they're coming up to the back of Jamal. And Jamal is actually going to hold Yuri up, and Ant now less than 3/10 of a second behind, and there's drama. Jamal, oh, but Yuri's got a much better exit. It's going to bring Ant closer for a lap. It's going to make Yuri sweat, but look at the exit. Back up to 5/10. So we're just under half a second now. That's later on the brakes. Down this long straight. Save your ERS. Well, and that's it from Yuri. Needs to get in that slipstream. Does he make a lunge now? He's close enough on the last lap. The Haas driver, is he going to send it up the inside of turn 1? I think he's thinking about maintaining the DRS. But is Yuri going to speed off now? It's easier to defend when you're in front. I think Ant's made the wrong decision. We've got a Mercedes round. That's boo. The move's going to have to be done in 2 corners time. How is he going to get the exit round here? Beautifully done. Less than half a second to go. Closes the gap for less than half a second now. 4/10 back up to half a second. 6/10. He's going to have DRS though. When does he go? There it is. Full acceleration. DRS, ERS on. And charging up behind the Alfa Romeo now. Is there going to be anything he can do to chuck himself onto that P1? 4/10, 3/10. How's his line going to be? Great line there. A wonderful Saturday night. Is he going to have to go wide to get the better line? Yuri's got the exit. It could be all down to this last corner. Later on the brakes, and I don't think he's going to do it. The pit straight. It's going to be very close. There we are. It's not at the start-finish line. There it is. What a finishing. We have probably thank you to Jamal for slowing Yuri down in that penultimate lap. Aeon and P2 in the Haas there. What a race from Yuri though, and the Alfa Romeo pairings as we got Ben rounding off the podium places in P3. Jay in P4, couple of collisions, forced wide by Ben. Hit by Morph as well, I believe, or hit Morph in P4 for the McLaren driver there. Morph, as we said, Red Bull in P5. Boo and the Mutts are going to cross the line now. Boo in P6 for Mercedes. The Mutts Nuts will be in P7. Pending how long that penalty was from the Mutts. Yeah, Trees at P8. Shake is in P9 in the Haas. And then we have Badgeman in... No, not Badgeman. Jamal, sorry, in the Williams in the last points. So, scoring place of the day. And with the computer driver of the day, I think gives you the same mathematics as me. Most positions gained, and is still podium. There we have it. Tree with the fastest lap. And what a race that we've had round Bahrain. Great points from Alfa Romeo. Will help to cement their lead at the top of the Constructors' Championship for another week. And Yuri will take an ever more commanding hold of that Division 1 title. And there we have it, a couple of stops from the bottom two there. Not what you wanted to see. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for another week of racing in the Indigo Racing League Division 1. I think the next race will be on Sunday, and if I'm not mistaken, from what I can remember, the next race is in Italy. I'm not sure. Don't think it's a sprint race. I think it's the week next week, next Tuesday, which is the sprint week, which is in Portugal. That's in 1 week's time. But the next race, will be in Italy. And so, yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, from myself, the commentary team, everybody, all the drivers in Indigo, everybody that helps set everything up Everybody that's obviously watching the stream as well, thank you, and good night.